Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dr. Andrew Senemes, and today we are diving deep into a topic that I genuinely believe everyone needs to hear, because most people have no idea they are slowly damaging one of the most vital organs in their body. We're talking about the kidneys. Now, I want to be upfront with you from the start. This is not going to be one of those videos that just throws a list at you and calls it a day. I want you to actually understand what's happening inside your body, why these habits are so dangerous, and what you can do starting today to protect yourself. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's go through this together. Let me start with a quick but important question. Do you actually know what your kidneys do? Because most people, when they think about the kidneys, think, oh, they filter urine. And yes, that's part of it. But the kidneys do so much more than that, and understanding their full role is what's going to make everything else in this video click. Your kidneys are two fist-sized organs sitting just below your rib cage on either side of your spine. Every single day they filter about 200 litres of blood. Every hour, all the blood in your body passes through them multiple times. They remove toxins, they eliminate excess fluids, they regulate your blood pressure, they balance your electrolytes, things like sodium, potassium and phosphorus. They control the pH of your blood, and they produce hormones that prevent anemia and support bone health. I like to think of the kidneys as the filtration system of a city. Imagine the sewage system that keeps an entire city clean and functional. If you stop maintaining it, if you ignore it long enough, waste starts to accumulate, pipes get blocked, and eventually the whole system collapses, and the health of everyone in that city suffers. That's exactly what happens, when we neglect our kidneys. And here is what makes kidney disease so dangerous. It is silent. So in the early stages, you may feel absolutely nothing, no pain and no obvious signs. And then slowly things start to shift. You start feeling more tired than usual. You have trouble concentrating. Your skin gets drier. You start urinating more or less. Your blood pressure creeps up. Your bones become more fragile. You develop anemia. And by the time people notice something is seriously wrong, significant damage has often already occurred. And that's why what I'm about to share with you matters so much, because prevention is everything when it comes to the kidneys. Habit number one, being completely indifferent to your own health. I want to spend a little extra time on this one because it's foundational. And honestly, it's the habit that makes all the others worse. I've seen this pattern so many times in practice. A person comes in or a family member brings them in, and they've known for years, sometimes a decade, that they have high blood pressure or diabetes, and they haven't done a single thing about it. No medication, no dietary changes, no follow-up appointments, nothing. And when you ask them why, the answers are usually the same. I feel fine. I don't think it's that serious. I don't have time. I don't like taking pills. Here's the hard truth. High blood pressure and diabetes are the two leading causes of chronic kidney disease worldwide. Not just risk factors, the leading causes, and they work slowly and quietly. You won't feel your kidneys being damaged year after year. But the damage is happening, and by the time symptoms appear, you may already be looking at significant irreversible loss of kidney function. The same applies to other conditions. Autoimmune diseases like lupus, viral infections like hepatitis B and C, urinary tract infections that are ignored or poorly treated, blood in the urine that goes uninvestigated for months. And these are all signals your body is sending you, and ignoring them is one of the most damaging things you can do. The fix here isn't complicated. It just requires a decision. Decide to take your health seriously. Show up to your appointments. Take your medication. Ask questions. And if you're watching this video right now, you're already doing something right because you're paying attention. Habit number two, taking herbal supplements and natural remedies without any medical guidance. This one surprises a lot of people, especially because there's a widespread belief that natural automatically means safe, and I understand where that belief comes from, but it's simply not accurate. And some herbal supplements act as powerful diuretics, meaning they force the kidneys to work harder to eliminate more fluid. For a healthy person, this might be manageable, but for someone who already has reduced kidney function, even mildly, this extra strain can accelerate damage significantly. Other herbs contain high levels of potassium or phosphorus. When the kidneys are functioning normally, they can handle these minerals. But when kidney function is compromised, excess potassium and phosphorus can accumulate in the blood and cause serious, even life-threatening complications. There's also the issue of drug interactions. Many people take medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or other conditions. And certain herbs can interfere with how those medications work, sometimes making them less effective, sometimes causing dangerous side effects. And the advice here is not to avoid all natural products forever. It's to consult with a doctor or qualified specialist before adding anything to your routine, especially if you already have a condition that affects your kidneys or if you take regular medications. Habit number 3, taking too many vitamin and mineral supplements on your own, and this follows similar logic. People often assume that more vitamins mean better health, but several common supplements, when taken in excess, can directly harm the kidneys. Excessive iron. Supplementation, beyond what your body actually needs, can accumulate and damage kidney tissue, among other organs. Excessive calcium can contribute to the formation of kidney stones. Excess vitamin C, especially in high-dose supplement form, is converted by the body into oxalate, which can also lead to kidney stones in susceptible individuals. And excess vitamin D, while important in the right amounts, can cause calcium to accumulate in the kidneys when taken in excess. The guiding principle is simple. Supplements should be taken because there is a demonstrated need, ideally confirmed through blood work and always with medical oversight. They are not harmless extras. In the wrong doses, they are drugs with real consequences. Habit number 4, regularly abusing anti-inflammatory medications. This is perhaps the habit I see cause the most preventable kidney damage because these medications are so accessible, so commonly used, and so widely considered harmless. Ibuprofen, diclofenac, naproxen, piroxicam, meloxicam, and the newer generation like celecoxib and atoracoxib. These are taken by millions of people every day for headaches, back pain, joint pain, muscle soreness, and general discomfort. And here's what most people don't know. These medications work in part by reducing blood flow to the kidneys. In the short term, for a healthy person, this is usually tolerable, but when taken regularly at high doses or over long periods of time, they can cause direct damage to kidney tissue and contribute to chronic kidney disease. The risk is dramatically higher in older adults who often already have some degree of reduced kidney function simply due to age, and who are also more likely to have other conditions like hypertension or diabetes that compound the damage. It's a perfect storm. The people who take these medications the most are often the people whose kidneys can least afford it. The recommendation is to use these medications as sparingly as possible at the lowest effective dose and for the shortest possible time, ideally no more than 3 days at a stretch without medical supervision. If you need them regularly, your doctor should be monitoring your kidney function. Habit number 5, eating excessive amounts of oxalate-rich foods. Now this one requires some nuance because the foods we're talking about are genuinely healthy foods. Spinach, beets, chard, celery, almonds, walnuts, peanuts, dark chocolate, rhubarb, lemon, grapefruit. These are all nutritious options. For most people, eating them as part of a balanced diet is perfectly fine and even beneficial. However, for people who are prone to forming calcium oxalate kidney stones, which is the most common type of kidney stone, Or for those who already excrete high levels of oxalate in their urine, consuming these foods in large quantities can trigger stone formation, obstruct the urinary tract, and over time damage the kidneys. The key word here is excess. And eating a handful of almonds is not going to hurt you. Eating spinach salad, a few times a week is not a problem. But if you're someone who has a history of kidney stones, it's worth having a detailed conversation with your doctor or a nutritionist about which foods to limit and by how much. Habit number 6, eating too much red meat. When your body breaks down animal protein, especially from red meat like beef and pork, it produces metabolic waste products that must be filtered by the kidneys. And eating moderate amounts is something that healthy kidneys handle well. But consistently eating large amounts puts a chronic excessive load on the kidneys, and over years this can contribute to kidney damage. Beyond the direct filtering burden, red meat is rich in purines, which are converted into uric acid in the body. High uric acid levels can lead to gout and to uric acid kidney stones. The high saturated fat content also raises LDL cholesterol, promoting atherosclerosis. The build-up of plaque in arteries, including the renal arteries that supply blood to the kidneys. When those arteries narrow, kidney function declines. This doesn't mean red meat has no place in your diet. It contains high quality protein, iron, zinc and B vitamins. The goal is balance, shifting toward more plant-based proteins, fish and white meat as your primary sources, and enjoying red meat in moderation rather than as a daily staple. Habit number 7, not drinking enough water. This one is deceptively simple, and yet chronic mild dehydration is an extremely common and generally damaging to the kidneys over time. And when you don't drink enough, your blood becomes more concentrated. Your kidneys have to work harder to filter it. Toxins become more concentrated in the urinary tract, and the risk of kidney stone formation increases significantly. Most healthy adults need somewhere between 1.5 and 3.5 litres of fluid per day, but individual needs vary based on body size, activity level, climate, and overall health. Practical and reliable guide is the colour of your urine. Pale yellow or nearly clear means you're well hydrated. Dark yellow or amber means you need more water. One important caveat: if you have advanced kidney disease or heart failure, your doctor may actually recommend limiting fluid intake. This is a case where the general rule is reversed, and individualized medical guidance is essential. Habit number 8, regularly eating ultra-processed foods. Prepackaged snacks, instant meals, fast food, commercial sauces, and especially cola-type soft drinks. And these foods are typically loaded with two things that are particularly harmful to the kidneys: sodium and phosphorus. High sodium raises blood pressure, and high blood pressure is one of the main drivers of kidney damage. Phosphorus in large amounts is difficult for compromised kidneys to excrete, and it builds up in the blood, interfering with calcium. Metabolism and contributing to bone disease and cardiovascular problems. Beyond that, ultra-processed foods tend to be calorie-dense, nutritionally poor, and strongly associated with obesity, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, all of which compound kidney risk. Shifting toward whole, minimally processed foods is one of the most impactful dietary changes you can make for your kidney health and your overall health. Habit number 9, consuming too much sugar. Sugar is something of a silent saboteur when it comes to the kidneys. When you eat a lot of sugar, your body releases a spike of insulin to manage it. One of insulin's effects is to signal the kidneys to retain more sodium and water, which drives up blood pressure. Over time, chronically elevated insulin and blood sugar directly damage the small blood vessels inside the kidneys, reducing their filtering capacity. And of course, a high sugar diet is a major driver of type 2 diabetes and obesity, both of which are Leading causes of chronic kidney disease. The important thing to understand is that sugar here means much more than the white stuff in a sugar bowl. It includes the sugar in sodas and fruit juices, and the sugar in desserts and pastries, the sugar hidden in sauces, cereals, flavoured yogurts, and even white bread. Reducing sugar intake broadly by focusing on whole foods and reading labels is one of the most protective things you can do. Habit number 10, eating too much salt. We touched on sodium in the context of processed foods, but it deserves its own dedicated mention because it's so ubiquitous and so damaging specifically to the kidneys. Salt causes the body to retain fluid, which increases blood volume and raises blood pressure. Sustained high blood pressure is one of the primary mechanisms through which kidney damage occurs. Most of the salt in modern diets doesn't come from what we sprinkle at the table. It comes from processed and packaged foods, restaurant meals, cured meats, cheeses, and condiments. And being intentional about reducing salt means reading labels, cooking more at home, and gradually replacing salt with herbs and spices. Your palate adapts over time. Most people who reduce their salt intake find that after a few weeks, their previous normal level of saltiness tastes overwhelmingly strong. Habit number 11, sleeping too little. The relationship between sleep and kidney health is one that most people haven't considered, but the research is clear. Chronic sleep deprivation puts the body under physiological stress. It triggers the release of cortisol and adrenaline, stress hormones that raise blood pressure and blood sugar. It disrupts the natural circadian rhythms that regulate kidney function, blood pressure patterns, and hormonal balance. Some poor sleep also drives behavior changes. People who sleep poorly tend to eat more processed and sugary foods, exercise less, and experience higher levels of chronic stress, which compound the damage to the kidneys over time. Adults generally need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night, though this varies by age and individual factors. Prioritizing sleep isn't laziness, it's medicine. Developing a consistent sleep schedule, limiting screen exposure before bed, and actively managing stress are all investments in your kidney health as much as your mental health. Habit number 12, smoking. Most people understand that smoking causes lung disease, chronic bronchitis, emphysema, and lung cancer. But the cardiovascular effects of smoking are equally devastating, and they directly impact the kidneys. Smoking accelerates atherosclerosis, the process by which plaque builds up inside the walls of arteries, narrowing them and restricting blood flow. And this affects arteries throughout the body, including the renal arteries that deliver blood to the kidneys. When kidney blood flow is chronically reduced, kidney tissue begins to deteriorate. Additionally, smoking is an independent risk factor for kidney cancer. There is no safe amount of smoking. Every cigarette contributes to vascular damage. If you smoke, quitting is the single most impactful thing you can do for your cardiovascular and kidney health. Speak to your doctor. There are more tools available today to help with cessation than ever before. Habit number 13, drinking too much alcohol. Alcohol affects the kidneys through two primary mechanisms. First, it is a diuretic. It causes the body to lose more fluid than it takes in, leading to dehydration, which, as we discussed, stresses the kidneys. Second, regular heavy alcohol consumption raises blood pressure, which over time damages the delicate structures inside the kidneys. And the most protective choice is to not drink at all. And for those who choose to drink, most guidelines suggest no more than one standard drink per day for women and 2 for men, and for older adults the recommendation leans towards 0 or at most 1. There is no amount of alcohol that carries 0 risk to kidney health. One additional point, if you combine regular alcohol consumption with smoking, the risk to your kidneys and your cardiovascular system and your overall health multiplies in a way that is genuinely alarming. These two habits together are far more damaging than either one alone. Habit number 14, living a sedentary lifestyle. Physical inactivity is one of the most powerful drivers of the conditions that damage kidneys: high blood pressure, obesity, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. And when you spend most of your time sitting, circulation slows, metabolism becomes less efficient, and chronic low-grade inflammation increases throughout the body. The good news is that you don't need to run marathons or spend hours in the gym. Research consistently shows that regular moderate physical activity, brisk walking, cycling, swimming, even consistent movement throughout the day, provides significant protection against kidney disease by helping to control blood pressure, blood sugar, and body weight. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate activity on most days. If you have a sedentary job, break up long periods of sitting with brief walks, take the stairs, move your body. At the same time, avoid the extreme end. Excessive intense exercise, particularly without proper hydration, can also stress the kidneys. As with most things, the goal is consistency and balance, not extremes. Habit number 15, using illegal substances. Cocaine, amphetamines, methamphetamines, and heroin can all cause significant kidney damage. And they do so through multiple mechanisms: vascular damage from extreme blood pressure spikes, direct toxic effects on kidney tissue, and in some cases destruction of muscle tissue that overwhelms the kidney's filtering capacity. The degree of damage depends on the substance, the frequency and quantity of use, and the individual's genetic predisposition. Regarding marijuana, current observational research suggests that THC may have some negative effects on kidney function, though more definitive studies are still needed. What is clear is that smoking marijuana carries the same cardiovascular and vascular risks as tobacco smoking, and many people who use marijuana also smoke tobacco, making it difficult to isolate the effects. The recommendation is straightforward: avoid these substances entirely. And if you or someone you know is struggling with substance use, please reach out to a healthcare provider. Addiction is a medical condition, not a moral failure, and there is real effective help available. So let's bring it all together. We've covered 15 habits, from ignoring your diagnoses, to oversupplementing, to abusing painkillers, to dietary choices around meat, sugar, salt, and processed foods, to dehydration, poor sleep, smoking, alcohol, inactivity, and substance use. Every single one of these either directly damages the kidneys or creates conditions, like high blood pressure and diabetes, that do. And here's what I want you to take away from this. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. But awareness is the beginning of change. Pick the 1 or 2 habits from this list that resonate most with your life right now, and start there. Make one small shift this week, then another next week. That's how lasting change happens. Not in one dramatic decision, but in consistent small choices that add up over time. Your kidneys are working for you every single moment of every day. They ask for very little in return. Give them the care they deserve. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments below. I read every single one and do my best to respond within the first 24 hours. And if this video helped you, share it with someone who needs it. It might make a bigger difference than you think. I'm Dr. Andrew Senemes. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.